I am coming at you from Moroto district headquarters, here where of course we know that security remains very important, especially when we are going for this festive season. But from the past, we also have recounts where we know there have been ongoing attacks on security. But Moroto is one of the areas that is synonymous with the cattle rustling. We also have female genital mutilation in the area that government, through the Ministry of Gender, Labor, has been trying to fight. But we want to get a perspective of what security is like in the area. This beautiful morning, I am joined by the resident district commissioner of this area, that's George William Wapua, to be giving us this perspective. Thank you very much for joining him on Morning at NTV.
Thank you very much.
You were here, I know, for recently when you posted here, but it's now months. What is the security stand on ground?
I was posted here in April this year from Amolata. At the time we came in, the situation, the whole of Karamoja was bad. There was a lot of cattle wrestling, raiding, killing people, and in the process we were losing lives, we were losing people, we were losing younger people, we were losing even the UPDF soldiers. But from July to September, government put in operation cordon and search policy, Operation Oslama. Now that policy included sensitizing the community, holding meetings with local leaders as a first step toward the software. Now after that whole exercise, we now went through operations itself. We had people volunteering guns, returning. So far, through force and the voluntary returning, we have collected 600 and for the whole of Karamoja it's about 690.
Mr. Aradis, when you say you are covering these guns, where are these people getting them? Are they buying? Are they manufacturing? What can a layman understand from this?
One, Moroto is surrounded by porous borders, the whole of Karamoja. This side from Amudat to Kiriama Moroto, we have about Turkanas. And while we are disarming, the other side is not disarming. And during now that we have dry weather, people come to graze the animals there. So our people here are able to get guns from the Turkana. We disarm, they get rearmed through these porous borders.
But don't you think they feel dispositioned when you are disarming them at an expense of the Kenyan side that come to raid their cattle? They have no source of protection. What is varying between there?
Surprisingly, the Kenyan Turkanas don't raid this side. They don't raid this side. And the Kenyan Turkanas don't raid among us themselves. Now in the Karamoja region, there is inter-ethnic raids, raiding the Matheniko, raiding the Bokora, the Pokot, raiding the Pian, the Jie, raiding Kabong and Matheniko. So the danger is not from raids across the border. The danger is raiding within ourselves after acquiring guns. So the disarmament exercise has reduced the number of illegal guns among the population. But we are also initiated the peace meetings between the leadership of Turkana and our side. His Excellency, the governor of Turkana, called Jeremiah, has visited Moroto more than Karamoja more than four times since his election. And we have held meetings. 2 months ago, 1 month ago, at the initiation of the divisional commander, Brigadier General Kudembe, we had a meeting including the delegations and the leaders of the whole of Karamoja. So the goodwill from the other side. And this was a follow-up of the agreement signed between His Excellency Uhuru, the former president, and His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for inter-border peace arrangement. So far that's the challenge. If all communities don't have guns, then they cannot have inter-ethnic raiding. They raid.
But Kenyans are continuing to bring for them guns.
They are continuing the peace talks we are having, the meetings we are having with the Kenyan leadership. The Kenyan leadership is bearing fruits. We have a lot of over 10,000 Turkana settled in Uganda at a place called Kubebe. Now the arrangement is they come, but they don't come with guns. Now because Karamoja Turkana is more drier compared to Uganda, there's that agreement that you can only, if there's peace, then the cows, the livestock of the Turkana can also come. So once you remove guns, and there's evidence that after we have removed the guns, we now have relative peace.
Okay, Mr. RDC, we have the ongoing attacks on security facilities in Luwero and Kampala, let me say the central region. We have witnessed this, and sometimes some security personnel have been shot dead, and the silence take away the guns. Has this happened here or not? And if it has not, what measures are you putting in place? Because you're not an exception of what these whole attacks are.
First of all, we condemn the exercise. The banditry of destroying, attacking people and killing lives, we condemn it. At this level here, we have had the district security committee meetings. We have had regional security committee meetings of Karamoja to put our people on alert, to prepare, because we are now entering Christmas. And you can never know what is happening in Uganda, Western Uganda, or Central Uganda can happen this side. But those are operational details which really I cannot divulge on the media, because even those bandits, some of them have accessed the media. But so far we have not had that unfortunate this year in Karamoja.
We are going for a festive season, and many issues come through, especially when festive season. What preparations are you making for security reasons that you're going through a safe festive season? By the way, the division headquarters here, for the 3rd division headquarters is here. They are going to enhance security presence, especially in towns, and then patrols by UPDF and the police, joint security. We also have us too. But we are also appealing to our people to report suspicious people and also reduce on movements at night. Because now that we don't have many roadblocks, it is more dangerous when you move at night. But we also appeal the awareness. Tomorrow we have a district security committee meeting, and we think we shall put in place other mechanisms. But the best way, the best security is our own people ourselves. If the civilians give us intelligence, then the intelligence will help. Because it's rarely for people to cross through a place without people noticing. Your area is still grappling with the female genital mutilation. And actually, we understand one person who was involved into that was convicted recently, but it is still grappling. Here, it is illegal. You talked about the Turkana in Kenya who have not made the same measures like we've done, and the young girls are being purportedly taken to Kenya and cut from there. What is your office or government generally doing to see that you have that brought to book in your region?
One, you just need cooperation between Kenya and Uganda, because we cannot trust those people up to Kenya. We can only stop at the border. But two, our borders are porous. From Kitale almost up to Sudan, Ethiopia, the border is porous. So the general position that we are doing, and the place is mountainous. So we are using our surveillance, we pick those that do it, we arrest. We also have community mobilization. We have the radio programs for all RDs in the region, where when we are talking about other governments, we also talk about those programs of government, but we also talk about VGM. So we think it will help, but it has also reduced compared to what it was in the years before security enhanced. And I think government is trying.
How are government programs run in your area?
So far, so good. But we still have a challenge of ownership of programs. Government has put in a lot of programs, but there's a snag in terms of implementation and operation. For example, we have a city school built in 2019 and completed. The Ministry of Education has never operationalized the school. They have never posted teachers. But if you put 1.5 billion in a project and after 4 years it is not operational, it's a disservice. It's a disservice because the Ministry of Law Government, the Ministry of the district cannot post staff to a secondary school. But the school has been opened and built by government to respond to a need. We have...
Which school is that?
It's called the Katekikile CD School. It's about 50 kilometers from here. And it was a result of a presidential directive. 2 students were traveling to Moroto and they were killed. So when the president came, he directed the CD school be built in that place. Built and completed in 2019 and then abandoned. Now, the leadership of the district, but also the Ministry of Education, it loses the meaning why it was built. Then we have got Moroto Regional Remand Home, 4.7 billion. Now, GILOS provided 2 billion to address the issue of street children in Karamoja. The Ministry of Gender instead signed for a contract of 4.7 billion. The resource envelope available is 2 billion. You signed for a contract of 4.7 billion. So the 2.7 billion are over, the project is not completed, and there seems to be nobody following it. I discussed with the PS Minister of Gender, Mr. Agure Kibenge. He promised he's going to send the people, and we have a meeting. It has not been done. Now that's also a problem. Then we have Rupa City School, which we commissioned recently. By now we have a board of governors in place. They have submitted lists, but the lists have not been approved by the Ministry of Education. So when you don't have a board of governors, you cannot open a bank account.
How is health system being monitored in your areas?
No, health is moving on well.
Because I understand even here, you said the Turkana of Kenya and the people here, the relatives and share things. Someone was telling me Coatem of Uganda is even in Kenya because these people share a lot of shared resources. That's even what IGAD was saying. But what can you do?
Because it's very difficult to differentiate Turkana and Karamojong. But two, health like water cuts across. We have Moroto Regional Hospital properly built and furnished. We have a few challenges of management which we are addressing. They gave us a city school, a health center 4 at Nadunget. It's going to be constructed. There's a health center 3 which is being upgraded, health center 2 which is being upgraded to health center 3. So the health system properly is working well, but it's sparse. Because like a particular sub-county is almost 70 kilometers wide. So when you have a city school at health center 3 at Kakingoli, and at the farthest end is 70 kilometers away. So we need to reinforce, and the government is doing it.
Okay, for time reasons, we'll stop it here. But Mr. RDC, thank you very much for making time to speak to us this morning.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to the public.
Well, George William Wapua is the RDC for Moroto district, of course, giving us a perspective on security, social services, among other things. But for time reasons, I want to end the conversation here and get back to the studios.